IPR BMC, Technology Readiness Level, Critical Thinking since last 10 years across the country. He is startup founder and currently handling MSME based incubation center having more than 35 startups. He has more than 5 Indian patent published, 2 copyrights and 2 book chapters in CRC Press. Dr. Gupta wears many hats as an academic professional. His works, other than basic teaching, include publishing and presenting several papers in national and international journals, guiding MTech projects, working on various state and central government sponsored projects, and traveling around USA, South Korea, Oman, Afghanistan, Dubai, and Ethiopia, an academic cum research mission in association with world's renowned universities. Notable among his R&D achievements are commercialization of electronic eye for blind people in collaboration with MSME Delhi, developing UAVs in collaboration with Korean Aerospace Industries Association, South Korea, working on DRDO sponsored project on robotics, completing NASCOM based project on software defined radio, and mentoring students for Microsoft Imaging Cup competition under software category. Dr. Baskar Gupta has been the director of SSITM Aligarh, BIRTM Kharja, and Nitra Technical Campus Ghaziabad, hence having substantial exposure to administrative affairs. Besides, he is a fellow member of IEE and MTTIE, IETE, and IIRS Dehradun. He had been 6-time coordinator for IIT Delhi Virtual Lab Program and working as nodal coordinator for IIRS ISRO Outstretch Program and IITM Swayam NPTEL Program. Now, I request Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Baskar Gupta sir to share his ideas and thoughts. The session is over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am
Audible.
I audible? Okay. First of all, very good morning to one and all present here. And let me first thank you, Dr. M. GMT, President, IIT Congo Arts and Science College Road, for inviting me as a resource person for today's session on achieving problem solution fit and product market fit. Let me thank you, the management of Congo Arts and Science College, for giving me an opportunity to express my views. I would like to thank the entire students community present here for attending today's session, faculty fraternity, and the members from outside college who will be attending today's session. And I am sure this session activity is being conducted today under Institution Innovation Council 4.0, and this is one of the Q2 activities. So this is actually under the umbrella of Innovation Cell of the Ministry of Education. And I once again welcome you all to this session. And let me just, I'm going to present my PowerPoint slides. So I would like to keep my video off due to some bandwidth constraints. So let me just share and wait for a moment. Ma'am, just let me know, is it now visible to you?
Yes, sir. Screen is visible, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to start. So good morning to one and all, and let me start with my presentation on achieving problem solution fit and product market fit. Let me just start with, I'm going to discuss about how you are going to find some innovative solution of the problem which you have identified prior to the start of any business. it comes to the problem solution fit. So this both of these problem solution fit and product market fit are the steps of customer development process. So if you are going to open your business, you have to see the problem solution fit, which is one of the important steps of any business development cycle. So here you can see during this customer development process is having three important steps: problem solution fit, product market fit, business model market fit. In fact, I am not going to discuss anything about the third one, which is business model market fit. So we will be knowing about problem solution fit and thereafter the product market fit. So if we look at the three stages, of any startup, we will come to know that the very first stage of any startup is that I am going to discuss about is problem solution fit. It is something about to understand the needs and wants of the customer, the problems which your customer has identified, how you are going to address that problem by designing an innovative solution that comes under problem solution fit. So finding a problem, work solving, discover a viable solution,
Sir, sorry
customer
to interrupt,
interview.
sir. Sir, sorry to interrupt. Your screen is not visible, sir.
Uh, Wait a minute, let me just. Is it now okay?
Yes, sir. Now, okay, sir. Okay. No, sir. Again, we are seeing only blank screen.
Yeah, now
Yes, sir.
is it now
Now we
visible?
can able to see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is
Is
visible.
it now?
Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So the very first one is problem solution fit, which is about to find innovative solution for the identified problem. So you have to discover a viable solution for the identified problem. The next one, which you can go to product market fit, the most important stage. Past this stage, you would have validated your product and business, which is the second stage of any startup. It is about your product market fit. What does it mean? I will be discussing during the session. It is about to develop a minimum viable product which you are going to launch in the market for the satisfaction of the customer. The last and very important stage in any startup is scaling, and whether your startup is scalable or unscalable. So it is about your customer creation. How much attractive your solution is, it depends on that. You cannot guarantee that your startup is going to be scalable. So you have to be, you have to develop some innovative methodology, innovative solution of the identified problem. Based on that, you would be able to scale up your business unit and your startup will be scalable. So that's the very important stage during any startup cycle. So if you look at the different stages of the startups, you can look at this picture. The very first one is about formation. During the formation, you are having a problem solution fit and concept, proof of concept development. Once based on the ideas gathered from the customer, your end users, you must have collected a number of ideas. You must have gathered what are their needs and wants. Based on that, you are going to generate your innovative idea and you are coming out with your proof of concept model. So once you are ready with your proof of concept, this is a part of formation. Now you have to proceed further with towards the validation. How are you going to validate your idea? The best way to validate your idea is to develop your rough prototype. Rough prototype, what I mean to say, it's not an exact product, the real product which you are going to launch in the market, but this is being used to just validate your idea and proof of concept which you have developed from the ideas, needs, and wants gathered from the customer. So, the second important stage is about validation, in which we are going to commit. We should have one vision. For that, we need to define our mission to achieve our vision, and then we are going to validate our idea and proof of concept during validation phase. So after formation, you will come to validation. Once you have generated your idea, you are going to validate your proof of concept by developing the rough prototype. Then you can really look for a growth of your startup. So that is known as scaling, how you are going to scale up your business unit. So I have already told you. So this is the final stage in which you are going to scale up your startup or business unit by developing minimum viable product. So MVP. So you are now ready with your MVP, which is minimum viable product. It is referred to as a new version of the product with some new features, and you are going to check it. You are going to take feedback from the customers about your MVP, because MVP is not a real product or final product. So during this growth stage itself, MVP will be checked, will be tested, will be evaluated, which will be based on the feedback which you are getting from your end users and customers. Based on the feedback received from the customer, students, you have to perform the iterations. You are going to have reiterations, number of iterations, pivoting until you get the exact and the right product which is to be launched in the market. So that is the part of the growth stage. What is a problem solution fit? How can we define it? The problem solution fit simply means that you have found a problem with your customer and that the solution you have realized for it actually solves the customer's problem or not. You have to be very careful. The problem will be, imposed by your customer, and it is up to you how well you have designed the solution to address that particular problem. So problem solution fit, this occurs when you have evidence that customers care about certain jobs, pains, and gains. At this stage, you have proved the existence of a problem and have designed a value proposition that addresses your customers' jobs, pains, and gains. And what is value proposition? Value proposition is a very important terminology in the context of business. If you as a company owner, if you are not going to satisfy the customer needs and wants in terms of value proposition, then definitely your startup is going to fail. Your idea will die. So value proposition is a very important thing, where value is being guaranteed by you to your customer. That is called value proposition. You are going to provide some value to the customer. So without value proposition, no business can succeed. What do you have with a problem solution fit? It must be a minimum viable product, which I have already discussed. It is a new version of the product with some added features, which is going to address the need and wants of the customer. And MVP is not a real product. Please do remember, MVP has been widely used just to validate your concept, proof of concept among the customers. Number two, satisfied early adopters. The early adopters are those young people who might be interested in your business, who might be interested to finance your business venture if it is technologically feasible and commercially viable. So you must know about your MVP very well. Otherwise, in that case, you might not be having number of early adopters who are going to finance your venture. Number three, a validated problem that you are going to solve with the early evangelists. Early evangelists means those who are going to invest some sort of, small amount of money in your business based on your proof of concept and the minimum viable product, which you are going to demonstrate in front of the angel investors. So you have to present your idea in front of angel investors, venture capitalists. Many successful entrepreneurs are there who might have interest in your business. But if your MVP is not properly validated, in that case, they might lose, the interest in your business. How many early evangelists should you sell the MVP to? It varies tremendously by product, service, or business. But according to Steve Blank, you need at least 3 to 5 satisfied paying customers for a problem solution fit. What does it mean if you are ready with your product and no more customers are there to buy your product? So definitely, there should be the customers who should be interested in your product. So I have already discussed, if you are, see, the in the past decade, thousands of startups, were founded by many people, but very few of startups succeeded and got a success just because of lack of, marketing skills. For running any successful business unit, rather than having scientific skills, you must have more strategic skills, marketing skills, technical skills, and more innovation is required in any business rather than invention, and more creativity. More creative skills are very much required for a successful entrepreneur who is going to run this particular business. So you must remember that everything which you are going to develop must be technologically feasible. How to get a problem solution fit? Problem solution fit we can have in 8 steps, which are very important steps. Who is your customer? It is important to have a good picture of your customer, not only the demographics about their education background, but preferably also sociographic data should also be collected by business owners about your customers. Rather than demographic data, some sociographic data may also be collected. What is the problem of the customer? Make assumptions of the problems you think your customer has, and then go on to validate those assumptions. In the best case scenario, you can provide measurable insight into how big the customer's problem is. So second one is you have to identify the problem of your customer based on your own assumptions, that these are our assumptions and those assumptions are to be validated by us. Is the customer aware of the problem? The more informed the customer is about their problem, the better. It may even be the case that your customer has realized an inefficient homegrown solution to try to solve the problem. Try as hard as you can to identify how well the customer is aware of the problem and when the customer will run into the problem. So this is the most important part in which you have to understand, the customer has to understand about the reality of the problem. Next one is, what is your product? What is your service? So it could be your product also, which you are going to develop. It could be any e-commerce business. It could be any, online service, or sometimes could be related to the some new process, related to, I give you the example, you are going to develop some new process in production unit. So that could also have some innovations, because innovation happens in many forms. It could be a service related innovation, product innovation, process innovation. So once you have found a validated problem, you can realize your solution after that only. Once the problem has been validated by you, then you are going to design a solution, going to realize the solution for that problem. Describe what the benefits and functionalities of your product or service are. So first you have to validate the problem, and then you have to realize the solution for that identified or validated problem. What are the alternative solutions for the customer? In a blue ocean, there may be a few or no alternative solutions, but in a red ocean, you are bound to have competition trying to solve the same problem. Map out what the competition is and what they offer. So this is one of the important steps, because my dear students, you are not going into this blue ocean. Actual market belongs to the red ocean, where number of competitors are sitting in the market who are working on the same product, same service. So you have to be very careful once you are going to develop your product for the validated problem and going to launch, thinking of launching that product into the market for the best commercialization. You can only commercialize your product once you have undergone a survey. You have to undergo a proper survey of the market, because there are many people who are already selling that particular product. So if you have really not added any additional features in your product, maybe you won't be able to commercialize your product finally, and your idea will die, your startup will fail. So that's why be careful about this. Is a highly competitive market. Many competitors are sitting nearby. What are considerations your customer has while choosing a solution? What are important go, no go parts of your business, product or service? Map these out, and as much as possible, make sure your product is optimized for them, right? So this is also equally important. Does your product or service actually solve the customer's problems? What are the important go, no go parts of your business, product or service? Map these out, and as much as possible, once you have found a quantifiable problem with the customer, it is fairly easy to measure the effectiveness of your solution. Make sure you have sufficient evidence that your product or service actually solves the customer's problem. So I have told you, you have to empathize with your customer mainly. You have to express your sincere gratitude, compassion, empathy towards the customer. You have to understand their feelings. Based on that only, you would be able to give, we would be able to realize a solution for the validated problem. So we have to empathize with outside users before we are going to start the business. Build, so there is a cycle called build, measure, and learn cycle. So first you are going to build your product. You are going to have some services which you want to offer to the customers. That is a part of building. You are building a product. Measuring, you are going to have proper measurements and validation process, where you are going to collect the feedback from the outside users, end users, customers, and then you are going to learn from the feedback. So this is one of the important cycles. So you are building your product, you are going to validate it, undergoing testing and evaluation phase, and then going to collect the feedback from the end user and customer. Based on that, you are going to learn the things. What are the drawbacks which you want to overcome? Based on that, you are going to perform iterations number of times until you get the right product to be launched in the market. The problem solution fit is an important step towards the product market fit, but often an underestimated one. So you must remember, towards the path of this product market fit, normally we have been underestimating the problem solution fit concept, and the startup founders directly jump, they are missing this particular step. They are directly coming to product market fit and thereby a business model market fit. We should never underestimate the problem solution fit stage of any business development cycle. Otherwise, you are not going to succeed. Your business will fail. What do you think about the problem solution fit now? Problem solution fit is about value proposition. In a nutshell, it can be stated that value proposition is a very important step for any business unit in which you are going to satisfy the customer needs and wants by providing a value to the customer in terms of both cost and quality, because customer mainly looking for the quality, and in that case they are also ready to pay a higher amount of money, but they are not going to compromise with the quality. So you have and features available with your product, just like design thinking concept has been widely deployed by Apple Corporation in their iPhones. Since last many years, we have been using iPhones, and every year Apple is going to incorporate several additional features. Why are you paying that much high money for iPhone of Apple? Have you ever thought? The only reason being the design thinking concept. Steve Jobs started with design thinking concept. That's why the punchline of Apple had been think different. He worked on a different strategy. He, rather than looking at different competitors in the market, he didn't work on that philosophy. He rather started working with his own design, which he incorporated in the mobile phones, and everybody is aware of Apple today. Apple is the only company which is the world's largest company by valuation in 2022, only just because of their design thinking concept. And there are not just one company, number of companies are existing in the market like Samsung Electronics, Apple, Microsoft, and the Toyota is there, Nike shoes, number of companies are there which have been using design thinking concept. So problem solution fit is about your customer discovery. So you are going to discover a right customer who is going to purchase your product. So product market fit is the second step. So first you have to go for problem solution, then thereafter you will go for product market fit, and after that only you can think of scaling up your business. Once your customer is satisfied with your product, which is fit for the market, then only you can think of scaling. So problem solution fit, you validate it with MVP and prospects that a specific solution will solve a no problem to such a degree that customer will buy it. This is the statement from Brent Cooper. So what is value assumption? Test whether a product or service really delivering a value to the specific customer or not. So that is very important. Nobody will be interested in your product until or unless you are going to provide a specific value to the specific customer who has been identified by you. Is the identified problem real? You have to understand whether the problem focused by customer is real or not. Will the target customer pay for my product? Whether they are going to pay for my developed product or service? Can the problem be solved? Because sometimes the problems are also not technologically, feasible. So that's why we have to understand whether what customer is actually thinking about. So problem, must be very real, which is to be addressed by us. So if you look at the problem solution fit, so here the 12 customers saying they must have a solution for the problem you are trying to solve. So there are several customers who want a solution for their identified problem. At least 12 customers saying they must have your solution. Then only you can justify your business, that somebody is interested in my product and business. If 12 customers at least are saying that they must have your solution, then at least 5 early adopters are ready to start helping you scale your solution. What does it mean? 5 early adopters are available in the market who are going to provide a financial support, financial grant to your business. At least 5 early adopters must be there for a successful business, for a successful problem solution fit. If you find 5 early adopters, then definitely you can think of going further, and you should feel satisfied with your problem solution fit. Then you will be going to next step, product market fit, and going to the scalability, which is about business model market fit. Then at least one feature with 5 early adopters saying they will pay for it. So at least, it must have at least one important feature in, and after that feature, looking at that feature, your adopters are now ready to pay for it. So that means if you are undergoing these steps and you have successfully completed, what does it mean? That your problem solution fit is perfect. So if we look at the canvas, a problem solution fit canvas is there, which has been widely used by many industries. So you can just look at, there are 9, segments in this particular canvas. Who is your customer? So you should understand, explore limitations to buy, use your product or service. So you have to identify the limitations also. How are you going to be different than competition? How are you going, because it's a highly competitive world, lots of competitors are sitting with same kind of idea, same kind of product, same kind of service. Focus on frequent, costly, or urgent problem to solve. So you have to understand, I have already discussed that you must first understand the technical, feasibility, whether that idea is genuine or not, or that problem is genuine or not. So if you are going to solve any unspecific problem, and then in that case your startup might fail. So that's why I told you this problem solution fit step is very important. Understand the cause of the problem. You must understand what is the root cause of that problem. That is also equally important. Tap into, resemble or support existing behavior. Design triggers that fit real life. Spark associations, make it familiar. I told you, so that you have to focus on design also, that is going to trigger. Add emotions for stronger messages. You have to empathize with your customers. I have already discussed. You're down to earth, your behavior really matters a lot with your customer. So be very calm, be very simple, don't use, be very, show compassion to your customer. That in that case only customer will be attracted by you. Be where your customer are. So you must know about their, all demographic, their geographical information, in which area you are going to sell your product, where you are going to establish your business unit for commercialization, whether you are starting in nearby area only, or at a pan presence across nation all over the India. So it's really very challenging these days. And in fact, I'm very glad to inform you that during the COVID-19, pandemic, the maximum startups were related to pharma sector. And out of, in the past decade, 100 startups, 42 unicorn startups were born in 2021 itself. It's a great, achievement for India that out of 100, 84 are total unicorn startups till now. However, the government is expecting to achieve a 100 number by 2023. But 40 business units who achieved, the unicorn status were born in 2021 only because they worked with these things. Otherwise, startups would have led to some other failures. So you should remember, once you are going to start your business, once you are going to start your business, you have to follow all those things and you have to implement at your workplace. So problem solution fit is something about to understand the problem, to know about your customer insights prior to the product development. Once and it is about to define to realize a solution for the validated problem. And then you are going to develop your minimum
Sir,
viable
sorry to interrupt. Sorry, sir. Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
product, which is your offer, which you are going to offer to your customer in the form of okay. Now just let me know now. Is it okay? Okay. So what is problem solution fit? So it is about to learn, build, and measure. So you are going to learn whether your solution is going to work or not among the customers. Does it solve enough of the problem to be meaningful for people? Do people trust it enough to use it? Are people willing to spend time and effort to solve this problem? So that is a part of your learning. Then once learning is over, you are going to you are going to offer a value proposition to your customer. You are going to develop your minimum viable product MVP, and your MVP is going to offer value to the customer in terms of service and quality. So quality of service guarantee must always be there once you have developed your MVP. If your product or service doesn't offer any value to the customer, then nobody will be there to buy your product. Once you have built your MVP, you have to measure. You are undergoing a literature study. You are going to collect feedback. You are undergoing different kinds of surveys, which you are going to conduct in online mode, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic. So based on the surveys, based on the literature study, based on the competitive analysis, you are going to gather the data. You are based on that data, you are going to learn, you are going to perform iterations, and number of times you are going to repeat your product. You are trying to incorporate some new features in your product or service, which you are going to offer to the end customer. So problem solution fit is the first step on the journey to product market fit. Problem solution fit establishes that you are fixing a problem for early adopters successfully. By no means does this establish that you have product market fit, as early adopters will usually only make up a small part of your potential market, but it is a good step in the right direction. If Uber, I give you the example of Uber, how many you all must be knowing Uber and Ola services we have been using for daily commutation from one place to another place. The Uber and Airbnb are the few companies, have got not just unicorn. Uber is now a decacorn status having, Airbnb is also having decacorn status. In India, there are many companies. Maybe this. I do remember Oyo Rooms is there. Paytm. These are now decacorn startups in India. From India, three decacorn startups have originated. Paytm, Oyo Rooms, and one more. I am forgetting this time. These have now acquired a status of this decacorn. So if Uber achieved only product solution fit, they would have made a Nike limo service for time-starved San Fran executives in that case. However, with product market fit, they created a new way of getting around for the masses. So where, yes, worked with both the product solution fit and the product market fit. And Uber successfully, worked with their business unit, and today it is a result of that only. The Uber is one of the renowned startups in the world. You have achieved problem solution fit when you have managed to eliminate all the risky assumptions from your solution. You can achieve this through testing your solution with the consumers, traditionally by doing interviews with your consumers. However, those that subscribe to the methodologies of Eric Ries's, the lean startup methodology, would say that you can actually achieve this by building early solutions and putting in the market, making constant iterations of this solution based on the data from the consumer interactions, sales, and other behaviors. So what this does is test in the real world. You are going to test your product in the real market. Remove the chance of false positives or false negatives from interviews. Interviews means you are based on the feedback, consumer interviews. Based on that feedback, you are going to remove your false positives or false negatives. So that's why. So if you look at the startup curve, where I have tried to have happiness versus time, you will come to know, you just see number of phases are there during any startup curve. In the beginning, when you have just started the startup, a constant line is there parallel to x-axis. Then initially you are having a lot of enthusiasm, lot of creativity must be there, and that's why more happiness is there in the beginning. You can see a peak is there in the curve that is showing enthusiasm, happiness, creativity, your critical thinking skills, your innovative ideas are there. Now once you start with your enthusiasm, after that, after some period of time, sorrow is also there, where you are undergoing experimentation and pivoting methods. So experimentation and pivoting is a duration of sorrow where you are not going to earn money. You cannot expect financial gains in the beginning. You have to be a moderate risk taker, and in that case, if you are not going, you are going to earn rewards, but in the last. So you must remember, you are not going to be very successful, business tycoon in just a span of 1 or 2 years. You have to struggle a lot. You are the moderate risk taker. So this is a very tough time, of any startup which is about experimentation and pivoting, where you are undergoing a experimental time only. You have to spend money from your own pocket. Startup is a young company founded by 1 or 2 young entrepreneurs in order to design, in order to develop a unique product or service. This way we can define the startup, in which the young founders have to invest money from their own pockets, from their family friends, from their family, or crowdfunding approach is sometimes used. Small investors are there in the market. So after experimentation phase is over, you again start working. You can see the curve. You again start working with your ideas. And after that, you are going to have product market fit. So after a lot of struggle, you would be able to get after the problem solution fit, you will get your product market fit. Now you are ready with your product, which is fit for launching in the market. And after you have launched your product in the market, you would be able to scale up your business. You would be able to scale up your startup. So what is product market fit? The product market fit concept was originally developed and named by Andy Rachleff, the CEO and co-founder of Wealthfront, and is a co-founder of Benchmark Capital. The core of Recleff's idea for product market fit was based on his analysis of the investing style used by pioneering venture capitalist and Sequoia founder Don Valentine. So now we are going to have product market fit. So Once you have completed your problem solution fit, you have come out with your innovative design, you have realized the solution for the problem. Now you have to launch your product in the market. So your product must be fit. And after that only you can think of scaling up your business. So that's why I told you that when your product becomes market fit, when during your MVP, minimum viable product development phase, you are going to test your MVP. If you have successfully delivered values to your customer, in that case only you will think, yes, my problem solution fit is perfect, and now I can go for product market fit. In that case only your product will be fit for launch in market. So if you address a market that really wants your product, that is, if the dogs are eating the dog food, please see it, then you can screw up almost everything in the company and you will succeed. Conversely, if you are really good at execution, but the dogs don't want to eat the dog food, then what does it mean? You have no chance of winning. This is the statement by Andy. In a nutshell, product market fit is having a product that is needed or valued by a market. So your product should always have a value which is to be valued by your customer, which has to be valued by your who is going to purchase your product. If you have developed any product, many number of units have been manufactured of the same product and nobody is there in the business to buy your product, then there is no meaning of that startup. So if you look at in a nutshell, the product market fit in a nutshell can be said as, why? What is this? Why? Problem market fit. Because we have to understand for what problem we are going to launch our, product in the market based on the problem. So first, we are going to have a problem. We are going to realize its solution and then going to develop a product that is fit for the market. So what is it? We are going to demonstrate it. We are going to validate our product. We are going to sell it. And then we are going to build. So how you are going to do it? How you are going to make your product fit for the market? Several business units have been using lean startup methodology since last many years. So lean startup methodology would have to be used as a founder of the company by you in order to make your product which would be market fit. So again, you are going to build here. You have developed your product. You are going to measure its performance by collecting the consumer's response about your product. Based on that, you are going to learn something. Based on your learning, you are going to perform the number of iterations and pivoting. And of course, you are going to make use of lean startup methodology so that your product becomes market fit. And of course, the minimum viable product. So you can see here, so prior to go for product market fit, during the problem solution fit stage itself, you have already developed this MVP with a new version of the product. So with the help of this MVP, you are going to validate your idea only. You have achieved product market fit when you have moved beyond your early adopters and customers still love your product. What does it mean? How can you define my product market fit is okay and perfect? You can say this only when early adopters have a satisfaction with your business, and now you are not based on early adopters. Rather, you are now going to approach successful incubators, accelerators in our country. For financing, you are going to Nidhi Prayas scheme, Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Mission, Atal Incubation Centers, Atal Tinkering Labs. A number of schemes are there. So now you are not interested in early adopters, who finished your business, but in fact your product is available with additional features. So list of angel investors is there, and if you are going to apply to the incubator itself will help you to get marketing and branding of your business, along with providing the list of angel investors who might be interested in your developed product or the service, right? So this here you can think of, yes, my product market is completed. It's important not to scale until you have achieved product market fit. Otherwise, you will be scaling something that no one wants. So it's very important. See, you have to achieve your product market fit by doing anything. If you are not doing that, there is no meaning of scaling up your business. So if you look at, three signs which you have found product market fit. Number one, sudden and significant pull from the market. This is a great sign that you have achieved product market fit. If there is a significant pulling from the market side and sudden pulling is there, then definitely your product market fit is the perfect. Gradual but compounding pull from the market. Gradual but compounding pull is there, so it's also good. So gradual is okay, no problem, but it's going to have a compounding effect. So yes, in that case also you can have you can say that my product market fit is the best. The third one, hitting a milestone that proves it is working. What does it mean? Once there is a significant pulling from the market, there is a compounding pulling, you can say that yes, my business is now working. So not just one company, you can see a list of companies, Airbnb, Netflix, Uber, Datadog, Substack, Gusto, Superhuman, Tinder, Segment, Carta. These are a lot of companies are there who are successfully running their business unit and have already acquired the unicorn and decacorn startup status in India and in the world. So if you look at the 6-step process is there to find your product market fit, which we should not never forget. Line up, number one, you can see line up product goals. First, you have to line up with your product goals. Number two, come up with product hypothesis. So of course, you have to perform, you have to work on hypothesis also. Number three, you have to prioritize hypothesis. Number four, speak with 5 buyers who are going to buy your product once you have prioritized your this product hypothesis. Make bets with MVPs. Yes, now once you have spoken to buyers based on their needs, you are going to develop your MVPs. Number 6, keep, kill, or pivot. So based on the feedback, you are going to perform pivoting. You are going to perform iterations. Based on that, you are going to improve the performance of your working of the product. Then you again, this cycle will keep going on. So you have to remember, if you want your product market fit, you have to follow this 6-step process in which you have to mainly work with your product hypothesis, and then based on that you have to develop your MVP, you have to validate your MVP, you have to collect the feedback and response from your customer. Based on that, you have to perform pivoting and reiterations until you get your product in the fine stage. And then you can think of scaling up your business. So if you look at this retention curve given for the two products, product A and product B. If you look at product A, you can think here, you can see this product A, performance is consistent performance. Product A active percentage is having a consistent performance throughout the time because the product A has made a use of product market fit. So after a certain point of time, you will see the product B performance is going down. The perform active percentage of product B is declining, performance is gradually declining, and after all, after some time, it is going to be zero. So just because product B does not have product market fit. So my dear students, you have to be very careful if you want to have more retention in the market, in the market sector, you have to work with problem solution fit first. Thereafter, you have to work with this product market fit, and this is not up to this place. Maybe I will be discussing in my next sessions with you about relevant scalable business models which should be market fit for your business. So you see this retention curve. So if you look at this product market fit, here we have to focus on the target audience, value proposition, which is very important, minimum viable product, and number four is final product. Once you have done with problem solution fit is over, product market fit is now over. Now you have to think you about your scaling up. You now want to scale up your business. So product market fit is based on target audience, your customer. This is your customer. Value proposition, what kind of value your product is going to deliver to the end user. MVP, a minimum viable product, and after the validation of MVP, you will come out with a final product which is to be launched in the market. The role marketing can play, which is very important, please do remember, I have already discussed with you all, rather than having scientific skills, see, anybody who has graduated from IIT having good number of degrees, technical degrees, may fail in running a business unit. Please do remember, running a business requires a lot of strategic and marketing skills. Anybody who is very good in marketing, may be more successful than any IIT Delhi graduate. So please do remember, and you must be knowing the very popular young startup is Misho. The Misho startup was started 5-6 years back by IIT Delhi graduates who founded this startup. However, they were successful in running because he had that kind of, thinking skills and skills required for proper marketing and branding of the product. Once a problem is defined, often it is not the best solution that wins in the marketplace, please do remember, but the solution that is communicated in consumer language the best. For example, the third generation iPod was launched when there were already many other MP3s on the market. However, the way Apple communicated the benefits, not the functions, to the consumer was by saying 1,000 songs in your pocket, right? Just see the strategy adopted by Apple Corporation when a lot of competitors were there in the market. Countless companies have put together the great teams who built great products that never found the success they anticipated. Why? Because they were not rigorous enough at establishing product market fit, which is what we are really seeking when we explore any new opportunity. Startups often use the lean startup methodology to try to achieve and validate product market fit, but the methodology is applicable to any product or service. This methodology investigates three dimensions that make up product market fit. So please remember, so the most important thing about product market fit is lean startup methodology. Is your product valuable? Are you providing some values to the customer? First, First, you must determine if your product is valuable. In other words, do customers want this product? Is the product viable? Is this opportunity economically attractive, whether it is expensive or inexpensive? Suppose some other company is there providing the same features, which is very less expensive. Why people should go for your product? That's why it must be commercially viable. Is this opportunity economically attractive? What's the appropriate business model which you have used during the development of the product? Like business model canvas, lean canvas, a number of canvas are there in the market. When you are going to start any business, you can make use of those scalable business models. Should we do this? Yes, we should do this. Is the product technically feasible? What technologies are needed? What are the support requirements to deliver the desired quality? What people and partners should be involved, and how much time and money will it take to develop the product? Can we do this? Yes, we can do this. For internal products or IT projects, problem solution fit is probably a much better term, but regardless of what type of product we deliver, we must iterate through each of the three dimensions quickly and frequently, because this is the crux of the product management. So you must remember, as far as the IT projects are concerned, you don't have to be very much based on problem solution fit, but this is all steps have to be followed rigorously if it comes to the product management. So this problem solution fit, product market fit is the crux of that product management. You cannot avoid this. Why is product market fit important? To help illustrate why product market fit is important, let's use a well-known example of a product that failed. Remember when three-dimension televisions hit the market, 3D televisions, 3D movies made a big comeback in theaters around the world about 15 years ago, and consumer electronics companies made a bet on increasing demand for this type of content at home. They saw some early adoption by technology enthusiasts, but the technology never penetrated into its target market. In other words, 3D television never achieved product market fit. So you should remember, because the 3D televisions came into the market, but nobody is using any 3D television at home, because they could not achieve that product market fit, and it is a result of that only the 3D televisions failed. Why? It was mostly feasible. Decent libraries of content already existed, and content providers like ESPN and BBC made commitments to produce more. It was the reason. That's why 3D televisions failed in the market, because they did not make use of product market fit. The technology existed to support home viewing, and the electronics companies could manufacture 3D televisions at scale with some seemingly minor compromises to the viewing experience. But the product was neither valuable nor viable. So you can see here the product failed. So 3D television never achieved product market fit because the product was not that much more valuable than current solutions to a large enough market to make it a viable business. In retrospect, it's clear why 3D television failed. It was a solution in search of a problem, and it never found one. But it serves as a good example of common mistakes even large companies and entire industries can make when bringing products to the market. So, how do you achieve product success and avoid making the same mistakes with your products? You need to become an expert at establishing product market fit and be willing to accept what the research and data tell you if the results don't show a good fit. So how do you determine market fit for a product? So it's a pyramid is there. So here, if you look at this pyramid for the product market fit, so I have already discussed, we mainly have to work on the product hypothesis. So number one, if you look at, is market opportunity hypothesis, then you are going to screen, you are going to validate your market problem. Number during three, you are going to ideate. So what up to three, it is about only the general research. One, two, and three are clubbed together. It is a part of your basic and sometimes called applied research. This is academic research only up to point three. After point three, you are going to validate your market problem. Number four is about ideate. Ideation refers to idea generation. Here you are going to generate your idea for the identified problem, and number of techniques are existing around us, having smart India hackathons, the conclaves are there, brainstorming sessions are there, hand holding support by your peers and mentors. So with the help of mentors, you would be able to generate your idea, and so by or some other way also. So then during five, you would be able to have your proof of concept development. At number five, once you are going to develop your proof of concept, you have to test it also in the laboratory if it is related for to testing. Then after the proof of concept, you are going for the testing work in the laboratories. If it is a service, then it is the other case. Once you have developed your proof of concept, now you have to validate your idea, which is at number six. What does it mean? It is going to about your prototype development, and after that, along with in this 6 point only, you have to demonstrate also. Demonstration is very important. Once you are ready with your rough prototype, so you are going to demonstrate it in the open market. And based on that, you are going to collect the feedback and going to iterate. So this is about your product market fit pyramid. Each element of the triangle depends on the others. Think of it as spinning three plates, one in each hand and one on your foot. It's hard to keep everything spinning and balanced at the same time. So validate market problem is very important. Once you have identified a problem worth solving, it's tempting to move directly into the solution space. But remember, the critical next step is testing your ideas with customers. To that end, Alberto Sevilla introduced the concept of prototypes in his book, The Right It. You have probably heard of prototypes, but what is a prototype? Prototypes help you gather qualitative data on the product value and viability at a much earlier stage in the development cycle. Prototypes help determine whether anyone wants to solve this problem you have identified and what they will pay to solve it. They answer the question, should we make this? Prototypes come much later. So prototypes are used in just beginning, and they answer questions around product feasibility. Will it work? And what will it cost to make? They help answer the questions. Can we make this? Yes. Here is a sample of the techniques that can help you prototype quickly without having to invest much in new technology. Explainer videos. So how can you, increase, how can you enhance your experience with prototypes, which is about to gather the feedback from your customers? You can do it with the help of number of techniques like explainer videos. You can make some videos where you have to explain about the value you are going to render to your end customer. It is based on the feedback. Crowdfunding, I have already discussed. You have to identify some customers to whom you are going to sell your product, and sometimes the crowdfunding refers to getting financial grant from your family, friends in the beginning only, when your business is not very successful. So this is a very challenging time when you are going for a crowdfunding and all that. Storyboards might be used in order to have better prototypes during the development phase. Remember that as you are using these techniques, you are trying to prove that the product is valuable to your potential customers and that they are willing to pay enough to make your investment worthwhile. Once you confirm that the market is large enough to be viable and that customers will find your solution valuable, you can return to building prototypes or basic services to confirm that the product is feasible for your company to build profitably. So number of models have been widely used, TAM, SAM, and SOM model. Now you have validated the market problem qualitatively, and you have decided that you can and should build a product. But how do you quantify the market opportunity? That is, this is where TAM, SAM, and SOM are helpful. So once you have identified the problem, you are going to develop a product, and after that, the way you are going to quantify the market opportunity, the different models have been widely used across the world. TAM, SAM, and SOM models are used to quantify the market opportunity. So here it is, TAM, SAM, and SOM, so it's about total addressable market. TAM is about, the market which you are going to address is going to help you to quantify the market opportunity. Which is the total market for your product? Who are going to buy your product? So under this total addressable market, your SAM and SOM will be covered. So SOM is about serviceable, obtainable market. So it is about your, the market which you are going to capture. So the market in which you are going to sell your product, and where you have to identify your target customers. Then it is about your SAM is there, serviceable available market, portion of the market you can acquire based on your business model. So if you have used some relevant scalable business model, then in order to quantify the opportunity, the best model would be to make use of serviceable available market, SAM. So SAM is only being used in case of some relevant business models. But if you want to have total, market which you are going to address, so that comes under the TAM. So both SAM and SOM are under TAM. TAM is about total addressable market. And I have already told you about SOM. SOM is the market where you are going to sell your product. You have to identify that service area of the market. So TAM is about total available market or addressable market, where we are going to focus on total market, total size of the customer. That is about the TAM. Example, total LED market. Very simple. I am a founder of a LED company where we have been manufacturing light emitting diode bulbs. So I have to know that about my total, market size, total customer size. So TAM is going to focus on that part only. Then it comes to SAM, serviceable available market, where we are going to focus on your own technology, your services. Example, the total living colors LED market, segment of total LED market. Then here we are going to identify our technology and the services in the area of LED bulbs, and we have to identify out of 100, how much percent belongs to LED sector, LED segment in the market. So that is about serviceable available market. SOM is about serviceable obtainable market, where we are focusing on which realistic market share can be obtained by myself, considering competition, countries, trends, expected demand, forecast, my sales, distribution channels, and other market influences. Example, my realistic goal to sell living color products into the LED market. So that is my SOM, serviceable, obtainable market. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So wait. The most important thing is about ideate. I already told you during this product market fit, it's the time to have transition into the solution space based on what you have learned, further flesh out and refine your ideas. Apple took several years, between 2004 and 2007 to ideate before releasing the iPhone. They also ran some experiments. For example, as they didn't yet have any experience in the mobile phone space, they first approached Motorola, IBM. They worked in collaboration with IBM also in the beginning and co-developed the Rocker E1, which was a fairly basic cellular phone with a key feature integrated iTunes support. This early iPod phone essentially built the capacity of an iPod shuffle into a consumer focused phone. So that's why they also had to struggle a lot in the beginning. It is not just Apple is continuously doing the best since beginning. In fact, they had to struggle a lot in order to achieve the current status the company is having right now in the area of iPhones, iPod, iPad, MP3, and all that electronic products. They didn't achieve broad consumer success, but it was not really meant to. This was part of the ideation process only that ultimately helped Apple confirm that making dumb phones play media was not enough. Consumer phones also couldn't access the internet well, a problem which had no compelling solution. This is what Apple ultimately solved for. We must understand this way the Apple found the solution and they tried to solve their problem so that they could come in iPhone market. After several rounds of ideation they performed, Apple didn't end up building a phone at all. Instead, they set out to build a tiny computer that could also make phone calls. The most important is about to develop and validate a product concept. Apple knew how to build full-featured computers and they knew how to build small consumer devices like iPods. But they had never attempted to build something both as small as powerful as the iPhone would need to be. They went through many product concepts they went through before settling on a single pane of durable glass with a multi-touch interface. They knew it solved the problem and it was very delightful to use, but it would not be very cheap. And that's why students, we are paying very, high money, high price for purchasing, Apple iPhones today. It is a dream for everyone. They built a hypothesis based on their research during the validation stage. Clearly, they couldn't target broad market adoption initially, but if their serviceable, obtainable market was only 1% of the total mobile phone market, they could focus on consumers with sufficient disposable income. After multiple rounds of marketing testing, they targeted consumers who were fashion to forward, cared about convenience, and likely already owned both a mobile phone and an iPod. This put the iPhone 499 US dollar and 599 US dollar price tags within reach of the target market. So finding your product market fit, all the recommendations we covered here can provide a better framework to help you gather and analyze this overall data. To achieve the final product market fit, remember, dear students, that your product must be valuable, viable, and feasible. So you should always try to develop a market opportunity, hypothesis, screen for fit, validate the market problem, ideate, and finally development and validate your product concept. With all this, I would like to thank you all, and that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. The root of all goodness lies in the soil of appreciation. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our honorable correspondent, Thiru K. Palnisamy sir, and our principal, Thiru N. Raman sir, for providing the immense support to make the workshop successful. I extend my gratitude to our honorable resource person, Dr. Baskar Gupta sir, Innovation Ambassador, Ministry of Education, Innovation Cell, MIC, to take a time from his busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank you
encouraging
very
and
much.
inspiring words. I
Thank you.
like to
Thank you very
thank
much.
I like to thank IIC President Dr. M. Jayanti Ma'am, Department of Commerce, and Vice President V.J. Sumati Ma'am, Head of the Department, Master of Business Administration, and faculty members. Last but not least, I like to thank our student participants and all our IIC student coordinators for their support. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Jayanti, President of IIC Cell, the Principal of the School, Management, Students, Fraternity, and Teaching Faculty members for attending my session so patiently. And definitely, I hope the session was very enriching and insightful for all of you. And you must have learned a number of things about problem solution fit and product market fit today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Actually, this workshop has been very inspiring, and we felt really delighted to have been able to be a part of this and try to continue with the way approach on society with this positive techniques. Very interesting content and technique with brilliant results, sir. It's been interesting, good venue, and presented really very well. Thank you so much for your excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Shall I leave now? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Students, feedback link is posted in chat box. Kindly fill the feedback and you'll get e-certificate.